about his one-year ban from Madison Square Garden. He said, quote, "I want to thank all my fans around the world. The case is over now. That was the hard part. The easy part is staying away from the Garden." Oak! How do you think the Knicks should have handled this situation?
Well, it initially started between two individuals, James Dolan and Charles Oakley. And the bottom line was there were strict orders that once Oak was on the premises, that everybody should be notified to the point where he's not allowed to move around in the Garden. Basically, he was being watched. And so once he got past the initial protocol, if it was up to initial security, who I think lost his job because of this, Oak would never have gotten to his seat. So once Oak got to his seat, he's just like the other civilians at a basketball game. He's allowed to say what he wants to who he wants. But the genius in what he did, he sat where whatever he yelled would be an earshot of the person that he wanted to hear him. And that was the owner, James Dolan. So for that, now all of a sudden you want to remove him from the premises. And for anybody that's ever been around Charles Oakley, you're not gonna just physically remove him from the premises without any resistance. And so with that being said, the awful footage is out there. We've seen it. This situation has been resolved. Oak can see the team when they come to Cleveland.
You know what?
He'll be sitting next to the owner, cheering for LeBron.
I'm just a little concerned for Oak because what if, like, Dave Chappelle does a stand-up show at the Garden? You know, I think he doesn't want to go to Knicks games, but the Garden has a lot of good performances. Billy Joel comes by. Like, I just feel like Oak is he's being short-sighted about this. It's not just Knicks games, Oak. But I do have to ask you a simple question that you've talked about off wax a little bit, and I want to get it on wax. Is it true that Charles Oakley once slapped Charles Barkley?
That's true. They had a physical altercation. It was during the lockout year, I want to say 98, New York City. I didn't see it with my own two eyes. The altercation happened before myself and Paul Pierce actually arrived at the meeting. But I remember coming down the elevator.
It was a
there was a
meeting
TV right there. I'm like, they agreed to a deal? Why do we fly all the way to New York? They agreed before we even got to the meeting. But I got love for Oak, and you know I got love for Charles Barkley. He's one of my mentors in this industry. But yes, I'm glad there was no footage, and social media did not exist then.
Let's move on. Ricky